The Good Championship field is set. 63 players playing for $100,000. But today, you're gonna find out who those players are, and also how this is the biggest YouTube golf tournament in history. On March 19th, Good announced a $100,000 purse. This could be life-changing to any player who wins this. This is also the biggest YouTube golf tournament in history, and they narrowed it all down to 63 players. So the first thing we're gonna do is look at the format of this whole championship. So there's 63 players, however, there's a qualifier. That's how they're gonna get down to the top 12. And when you get in those 12 spots, that is how you will make it into the 36-hole championship. So it's not all 63 players who are gonna be playing in this. It's a qualifier. That makes it a lot more interesting, and also, you gotta play good in that first round. You gotta play really good, because there are some absolute dogs in this tournament. What I have done is broken down each category of players from Korn Ferry, Mini Tour, pros, and social media influencers. So before we go into who the 63 players are, well, I have an announcement. A huge blessing that has happened in my life, and that is I am one of the 63 players playing in this tournament. The sandbagger himself. I want to thank the Lord for this huge blessing, and this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. If you guys don't know who I am Peavy. I play tournament golf. I also make other fun videos. And so hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, hit that notification bell, because bangers every week, baby. All right, so I've broken it down into 4 categories of the type of players that are going to be playing in this, because I'm not going to go through every single player because that would take forever. I will pop their names up on the screen so you can see who they are. Stay to the end of the video to see who I think will be the top 12 that qualify. A lot of them you've never heard of. I've never heard of until I had to research them. So the first group we have are influencers and social media golfers. The biggest one we have is Fat Perez. FP will be there, and we're gonna see what he shoots. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see what he shoots, and he will probably be the most watched golfer at this tournament just to see how he does. Great player. I love FP. So FP is one of them. Ben Haddon is another. He's a good athlete. Then you have Zach, who I've played a lot with. And then you have a few others. There is Andrew Jensen, I've played with him. And in the first group, we have 7 players, including me. I'll be interested in seeing how that group does at this tournament. Next, we have the big dogs. Korn Ferry Tour players. There's 11 of these guys, and these are the guys that you need to watch out for. I know maybe like 2 of them, I've heard their names. So there's 11 Korn Ferry Tour players that are in this tournament trying to qualify. This is what they do for a living. Like, this is a legit tournament, like tour tournament, with having 11 Korn Ferry Tour players, literally the step below PGA. That's big time. Next, we have the other PGA Tour players, PGA, China, and Latin America, and Canada. So this consists of 12 people that I found that were on these tours. And so it's gonna be hard to tell who to cheer for. That's the only thing about this is, like, I mean, everybody's gonna be cheering for Fat Perez. I mean, who am I kidding? And if you want to, you can cheer for me if you want. It would be a blessing if I could get through this qualifier with just seeing how deep these players can go. But hey, you never know with a sandbagger. You never know. You never know. You don't. Then we have the biggest group of them all, and that is the Mini Tour pros. And so this could be like local pros, somebody who just plays around their area. This is 33 players. This is the biggest field. And I mean, there's a lot of good players in this field. I recognize a few. Gipper Finau, that's Tony's brother. And then Ben Haddon. Ben Haddon is like, he's like a Mini Tour player slash does YouTube. So those are the categories, and there's a lot of players in that last group. So there could be a sleeper for all I know, a sandbagger just creeping in there. Very, very interesting. So the thing I'm gonna do now is I've researched all of these players, and I have picked the 12 that I think will make the qualifier. Are you guys ready? This is gonna be big. 12 players, 63 players for 12 spots. That's roughly the top 20% of the field. I think it's 19%, which are pretty good odds for a qualifier to play for this big. I know I'm playing in the US Open qualifier next week, and I don't even think it's that many spots. So I feel pretty good because those are the same players that are going to be in this. This is not in a particular order here, but except for this first one. This is the guy I think will win the qualifier. His name is David Carey. He just qualified for the Valero Texas Open, went through the pre-qualifier, shot like 8 under, and then went through the qualifier and shot I think 6 under and made it into the Valero. He did end up missing the cut. That's legit. And also, he's played in the Open. Like, what? So that's my number 1 pick. He seems like he's playing so good right now. From here on out is just no particular order. It's just who I think will make it. Ben Haddon. Ben Haddon is a good athlete, plays on many tours, lost status, but has played really well in Arizona. So funny story is I actually played against Ben Haddon in college in Mesa, where the tournament is near, and Ben ended up, he should have won the national championship. Like, he literally should have won it, but he had a few bad shots coming down the stretch and he didn't, but I think he ended up 2nd or 3rd. He can play very well in Arizona, so it's nothing new to him. He's crazy good player. Next, we have a familiar face on my channel, Zach Radford. Zach is so solid, so consistent. If he gets hot, he's gonna shoot about 4 to 5 under. Like, that's his number, 4 to 5 under. That's what he'll shoot, very consistent, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Next, we have a little sleeper. We got Quinn Riley. So he has played on Canada, and he played at Duke University, won a few times in college. He's a little sleeper. He also plays on the APGA. Also another guy who does that, and that is another guy who I've picked, and that's Marcus Bird. Now Marcus Bird has gotten 3 invites to the PGA Tour and has played. These guys are just looking for a breakout. If they can win this tournament, that would be huge for them, like life-changing, because they're right on that verge of going to that next level. So the next person is Mark Baldwin. Now Mark is 39 years old and has played on the PGA Tour event 5 times and Korn Ferry for 60 times. So he's a veteran. You know, you gotta throw a veteran in there because they got a lot of experience. There's a lot of pressure when you know there's 12 spots from 63 players. That's a lot of spots for a tournament like this. For the US Open, they take like 4. We have another sleeper, Ryan Sullivan. Honestly, a lot of these may be sleepers because nobody knows who they are. And tell me, like, would you guys rather see more YouTube golfers? And maybe, say for instance, they do another tournament, would you rather see more YouTube golfers or more players kind of like this who are trying to make a breakthrough? Just let me know in the comments. So Ryan Sullivan has played in the US Open in 2013 and 2019. I mean, with qualifying for the US Open twice, he's a player. Besides that, he really hasn't done anything crazy. So that's why I got him as a sleeper. Next, we have a guy who's been on YouTube a few times with Busted Jack, mostly, and that's Cooper Dawsey. Monday qualified into a Korn Ferry Tour event and also won on the Pro-Am Tour and won 20 grand. He's coming in hot. And that's what you want. You want to come in hot to a tournament like this in a qualifier. Whoever gets through the qualifier, it's anybody's game. Like, it's literally anybody's game. So that's what I'm curious about, is once the top 12 players are in, who's gonna win? Like, you won't know. Then we have Josh Anderson, sleeper sandbagger. This is a guy who is local, but I looked up all his tournaments and no joke, has not shot over 72 the whole year. And I'm talking probably 15 rounds. He bust out 66, 67. That is a need. And I'm sure he's played this course many of times compared to all these other players. Next, we probably has the most credentials for this qualifier, and that is Charlie Saxon. Charlie played with Luke Kwan. Since 2017, he's played on the Korn Ferry in 100 events, done very well, and he has 8 top 10s on Korn Ferry. So credential-wise, I'd say Charlie Saxon is a top dog. I'd say he's at least top 3 player in this tournament. And then we have Nick Vokey, has played on the Korn Ferry, been playing very well, and has 1 runner-up finish and 4 top 10s on Korn Ferry. So another solid player on Korn Ferry. This is a deep field. There's some dogs. Even though you may not know them, you may get to know them because of the Good tournament, which then you can see them on the next level to where you're like, oh, I saw that guy in the Good tournament, which is really cool that Good can even provide an opportunity to kind of boost a player, give them the financials of winning this tournament to prolong their career and also just their dream. And then we have the last player who I think will get in, and that is the biggest sleeper, the longest shot in this tournament, I feel like. But you just never know. And that's the sandbagger himself.
Hey, Bill, I'm
bangers every week, baby.
in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a sticker. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flicker.